a really nice website.
Yeah, tell us something about your movie, Chup Chup Ke. Chup Ke.
Chup Chup Ke is due to come out on the first week of June. It's a romantic triangle between me, Shahid, Kareena.
Okay.
And it's really interesting because it's like a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of confusion. In fact, their tagline for the promotions is "Love meets confusion meets love," you know.
Okay.
And it's a typical. This is a Priyadarshan film, and if you've seen his other films, you know they always have this kind of, you know, it's like breakneck speed comedy that's running into utter chaos. That's his trademark style. And this film is also an out and out complete entertainer. I wouldn't call it just a pure comedy. It's a dark comedy, as in, you know, it's a very sort of tragicomic setting. It was wonderful because we had this huge star cast in the film, which we call Priyan team. You know, in fact, the film had what we affectionately call Priyan team,
Yeah.
which is Om Puri ji, Anupam Kher ji, Paresh Rawal ji, Rajpal Yadav, you know, and this really hilarious group of fabulous actors, and it was a huge set. I mean, when you talk about an ensemble cast, there were almost 15 of us.
Oh.
So at any given point in time, different combinations are shooting, so everyone else is waiting. So we used to have great fun while we waited. We used to play dumb charades.
Okay.
You know, we used to play like Chinese whispers,
Okay.
and you know,
Nice atmosphere. That
yeah.
must be funny and like.
We had Sunil Shetty on the sets, and
Okay.
of course, I mean, he loves playing pranks. So we used to have so much fun. We used to have so much fun. And he's he's a really fun, cool guy. And then of course there was Shahid, and great fun shooting with him. You know, he's a fabulous co-star. And of course, for me, this is only my second film. So there was a lot of nervousness on my part because I was the only person, technically, besides Shahid, who has not worked with Priyan sir. So for me, it was a big step, you know, just land up on this big set with all these veteran actors, and I'm like, oh my god. But Shahid was really nice. I have, like, most of my scenes are with him, and very cooperative, you know, where I'd be making errors, and he'd be like, do this, do that, and I was like, oh, thanks. Kareena was also nice to know, and, you know, nice, like, know on the sets. And it was a very fun team of people working together. The film is produced by UTV, and they are of course riding high on the success of Rang De Basanti, and they've been really lucky with their films. So we're hoping that Chup Chup Ke will be one more feather in their cap. So, but good fun.
Yeah, tell us something about your role.
Well, my role, I would say, is the surprise package of the film, because whatever people would expect from the others, like, they'll be pretty surprised when they see me. For my look, also for the kind of role that I'm doing, for my clothes, maybe just for everything, and it is going to be very different. Well, the one promise that I made myself was that any film that I do, the one thing that drives me, or that gives me a lot of, or just makes me enjoy what I do, is becoming a different character with each film. It really inspires me because, you know, I feel that is really boring to just play yourself in every film. You know, it's like, oh, look, that's Sushma. But if I can become my character in each film, for me, it's an added twist. So in Chocolate, we worked on my entire look, my mannerisms, my gestures, and, you know, all my sort of behavior, how I'd walk, how I'd talk. And it was really interesting, you know, just the whole look was designed. So the same way, even in Chup Chup Ke, my entire look has been designed. So it's a complete package. And I really hope that when people walk in and they'll be like, oh my God, that's not Sushma, that's someone so different. Okay. And if I can do that with each film of mine, that will be a huge achievement for me. It's so crazy because they took out pictures, stills from Chup Chup Ke, and one of my friends saw it on the cover of the trade guide, and I said, look. They're like, okay. And I said, no, look. Like, okay. And I said, do you know who that is? They're like, no. I said, that's me. You know, so I was quite amused with that. So that's a part of the fun of being an actor, I think, is to be able to evolve different looks. But it's a fun film, and I think it's going to rock because I think it's got something for everyone, and I think that all our veteran actors in the film are comic geniuses, you know. So I think it's going to be a really fun film.
But like you know, very few people knows that you're there in Chup Chup Ke.
That's right.
Like yeah, that's the. I mean, like, what is the reason? Like
The reason is
as
because
they
I think
want to keep it as a surprise
they do,
package, or
they
like
do, they do.
maybe because of that they are not promoting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
In fact, I am the sort of surprise package of the film,
okay.
and as I said, I mean, you have to go watch the film to know
Yeah.
what it's all about. So.
Okay. So tell us something about your other films.
I'm currently doing an acting workshop towards Big Bazaar. This is a film by Mahesh Manjrekar,
Okay.
And he is, I think, a really brilliant director. You know, I mean, and he comes up with some great scripts, and this is in the league of his sort of masterpieces. He has tried to give it the feel of this film called City of God. You know, which is about it's almost again tragicomic. But it's a very dark film, and it's about the lives of mill workers. I mean, right now mill lands in Bombay are hot,
Okay.
you know. I mean, and they're going for huge sums of money.
Okay. Okay.
So he's tracing it through a 15-year history
Mhm.
of what happens. I mean, what happened with these mill lands, and specifically to families who were involved with these lands.
Okay.
There are two families in the film, and in one family you have a mother, father, you have one sister, and you have three brothers, and I play the sister.
Okay.
And then you have this other family, which is a man and a woman. So I have a very interesting role. I've been, in fact, a pretty pivotal role because it tracks these families through the years. I think it is going to be very challenging to do. I think the whole environment. Last I heard was he was planning to shoot it in a authentic chawl setting.
Okay.
So I don't know what his plans are, but it's going to be pretty challenging to shoot, and it's also going to be very, very interesting to play this particular character.
Okay.
And when I heard the script out, I was blown. I was like, wow, you know, I mean, this is such an amazing script.
Okay.
So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Okay.
On the heels of that, I've signed up with Puneet sir.
Okay.
And I don't know when that film will roll precisely. I'm also in talks with two other people, and hopefully, fingers crossed, when that gets signed, then of course I will let you know. But I am looking for interesting roles. I'm looking to play different parts, and of course enjoy myself while I'm at it.
Okay. What kind of roles you would like to play in future, like
I love doing commercial cinema. I mean, art house cinema is fantastic, and it's a sort of welcome break from doing commercial work. But I've always wanted to do roles that reach out to a really wide audience. You know, I want more people to come and see cinema. It's just not about niche audiences watching what I do. So I would love to play any kind of roles. I would love to play, you know, period dramas, do historical films, do a sort of you know, total commercial pot boiler with the dances and everything thrown in. So I'm really, really open to what kind of roles I do.
people says that like models cannot be actors.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
I've been happy because I've got such great feedback from really good filmmakers in the industry, and they're pretty strict. I mean, why would they take me in a project if they had no faith in my talent? I think that this sort of, you know, general notion about models being bad actors has been I'd say partly or partially taken care of by my other colleagues who have gone into acting. Example, John. You know, so I think it's really something that varies person to person. But I'm sure directors would not be taking me on if I couldn't perform.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. And tell us, coming back to the Chup Chup Ke, I mean, tell me something about the music and all. How
The
was it
music of the
working
film, it's composed by Himesh, and it's
He's
not.
on high all these days.
Yeah, I mean, he's in great form, and in fact, they're very soulful, beautiful ballads, and because it goes with the tone of the film, you know.
Okay.
So it's a really they're very, very soothing, nice numbers. So that's about what I could tell you about the music of the film.
Okay. And what about Priyadarshan? How was it working with him?
Priyadarshan sir
Because
is
this is your second
fantastic.
film and second film you are
Absolutely,
getting with,
absolutely. I mean, I died on the set. You know, I showed up and I was like, he's like, will you stop behaving like you're punished? I'm like, no, I'm not punished, but I'm just scared. I'm scared because, I don't know what to say. Yeah, and I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to open my mouth. It's just that you're learning and you're learning on the set. And when you put up against such veteran actors in each scene, I mean, they're fantastic, And you're just new and you're thinking, oh my God, am I doing this right? Am I okay? Am I okay? What am I doing? What am I doing? In fact, there's one funny incident because, they'd give us our dialogues about 35, 40 minutes prior. So you go through the sheet and then you register what you have to say and then kind of figure out what you're doing on the set. And what was crazy was, I was just busy creating the whole situation in my head. Okay, now I'll do this and then I'll go there at that point and I'll say this to this one and I'll say that to that one. So when the scene rolled, Priyan sir was like, come here. He says, come and watch what you're doing. I was like, okay, I saw what I was doing. Then he said, do you realize that you're preempting your own dialogues? He's like, when did you read your sheet? I said, about 40 minutes prior. He said, okay. Then he said, do you realize that you're acting and creating the whole situation in your own head? I'm like, oh my God. So then he called Jay, who was helping with the dialogues, and he said, next time for the next scene, or not just for her, for everybody, give everybody their dialogue sheet 15 minutes before we go on set.
Oh.
So which was great because it worked out well because I could see what he meant. I mean, he didn't want us to preempt our scenes and our acting. He wants it more spontaneous. In fact, Priyan sir is somebody who likes very natural performances. He likes natural performances. He likes spontaneous performances. He prefers natural makeup. None of his girls are ever heavily made up. They're always like, clean makeup, clean look, very simple, clean straight lines. Even for the clothes, always it's just very simple looks. And what's amazing about him is that, he writes his own projects. Okay. He edits them. I think he's a fantastic filmmaker. I mean, I'm in complete awe of him.
Okay, Kareena is also there. So didn't you feel scared about your role? Like, your role must be getting scored and
Not at all, because I think as someone who's new, it's a risk you run when you're in the film business. Because all that I can do is I can go and perform and do my best, but I can't control what happens with any film. But I saw the whole picture, which is I'm in this fantastic film. I'm with a superb cast. I have a wonderful director. So I just try to see the whole big picture and not look at the small picture. Because I think when you're new, you really run that risk, but you take your chances. Yeah. She was good to me, so I had like no issues with it. And I'm really interested in the whole film, where I feel that it's a really interesting film. It's got a very interesting storyline, so I hope it runs.
Yeah. And you have any scenes with her?
No. Yeah, I do actually. I do. What am I saying? In fact, the entire climax is with her.
Okay. Sushma, tell me, what is important for you when, what kind of factors, director, actors, co-actors, or producer or banner, what is important for you while signing the movie?
I think it's always the one or two factors need to be in place. I mean, either you have fantastic co-stars, or you need to have like a super banner, because even if the film gets made, it needs to be promoted well, and you need people who have the faith to back up any film that they make. So a great banner or a great co-star or a great director. I mean, they are essential so that you can get confidence in doing that particular project.